I am an 11k MMR support player and 86% of my Dota games are in support role. In this video, I'll tell you guys about how to play the top 5 support heroes of the current meta to gain MMR. All you have to do is try to implement the exact things in your games. Omniknight is the current meta's number 1 support hero based on how strong and easy it is to play. Both facets of Omniknight are pretty good, but I personally love Omnipresent a lot. Omniknight with his Omnipresent facet does a lot of damage with his spells and mainly auto attacks. If enemy heroes are in your 325 radius, they'll be taking extra percentage damage from Omni, and the damage can increase up to 20%, which makes your trading with enemy heroes very strong. The starting items are 2 tangos because you actively want to trade in the lane, you will need healing. A blood grenade to set up for kills combined with degen or a slow, 2 sentries to block the hard camp and unblock the small camp, 3 branches for stats, and a fairy fire as it gives 2 damage and instant 85 health upon usage, which will be really valuable to outplay enemy heroes while trading. After getting bounty runes, call for a healing salve from the courier. It will win you the laning stage. Melee heroes take a lot of damage back while trading because they have to walk to the enemy heroes, and healing salves help you play aggressively in the lane. Start with your third spell. As soon as the laning stage starts, look for 1 vs 1 trades. Beat enemy support or core. While trading, keep this thing in mind that it's either a 1v1 trade or a 2v2 trade. Don't let enemy heroes outnumber you while trading. If you're laning against ranged heroes, then use the trees to close distance with them. Hide behind a tree, and when enemy heroes are out of position, come out and hit them. After your initial trade, you and your enemy both will have low health, but you called for a healing salve after the bounty runes, and enemy in most cases will not have a healing salve because people usually don't plan ahead on how the lane is going to be played. In case the enemy also bought a healing salve, no problem. Repeat the same trade again and call for another healing salve. If you have got small camp available, then half pull it and go hide behind a tree and wait for enemy support to show up. If he shows up, you can zone him out. If he doesn't show up, he'll lose experience of the creeps, and the enemy creep wave will come close to your tower and your carry will have a free lane. In case you don't know how to half pull neutral camp, don't worry. I have made a guide about it which you can watch after this video. To be efficient in trading, don't use your third spell instantly. You can right click the enemy and walk with them to build up omnipresent damage stacks. Once you have built up good stacks, use your third spell. It will deal more damage. Don't go for big items in the early game. If you're having mana problems, get clarity. If you're having health problems, get tango or salve, and always keep 1 blood grenade with yourself for the laning stage. It can help you set up kills easily. This structure is what you need to implement in most of your games to win the laning stage. Use trees to close distance if you're playing against ranged heroes. Focus on half pulling small camp and blocking hard camp. Use courier to get resources again and again. Always trade when the enemy cannot outnumber you. Your skill build should be 1 level into third spell for the laning stage. After that, max your healing and repel. Early to mid game items are Arcane Boots, Magic Wand, and Solar Crest. The buffs that Solar Crest provides are really strong, and the build-up of Solar Crest is really easy and helpful for support players. That's why that item is really valuable. If you're playing against a high magical lineup, then you can skip Solar Crest and make Glimmer Cape first. Once you're level 4 or 5 and it's night time, there are 2 plays that you can make. Either use Twin Gates and start playing with your offlaner and position 4 support to zone out the enemy's carry out of the lane and take offlane tower. Or run to mid with your mid laner and pressure the enemy's mid laner if he is low on health. Omniknight is really strong in the early game. You can literally snowball early game during the first night by bringing more heroes to one lane and forcing fights with the enemy. While switching your lane, make sure you don't reveal your position on the map and gank enemy heroes through the trees. Don't go running into the lane and let the creeps reveal your position. After leaving your lane and giving your carry space to farm, you can run around the map with your team. Omni's Repel, Healing, and Guardian Angel are super strong to run down enemy heroes in the early to mid game. Before leaving your safe lane, make sure to place a ward for your carry. Apparently, carry's shop doesn't have observer wards in it, so you must provide him with vision before you leave this lane. With your level 4 or 5 rotations, during the first night to the other lane through gates, even if you're losing your side lane, you can outnumber the enemy heroes and win that lane for your team. and it will help you snowball the entire game. Omniknight is a really good saving support hero. Just keep one thing in mind, your positioning matters a lot. You have got to play the fight in a way that you don't get jumped first and you don't reveal your position before the fight starts. Just play behind your cores and help them with repel and healing. You don't even need to run into the fight to right click the enemy heroes. While following your course, keep an eye on your position because we often don't pay much attention to our positioning and find ourselves standing in middle of 3-4 enemy heroes in a team fight. After Solar Crest or Glimmer Cape, you can get any aura item that fits according to the enemy's draft. You can get Greaves, Crimson Guard, Pipe, Vlad, Drums, whatever. In terms of talents, you can go for Repel Duration, Ultimate Cooldown, Ultimate Duration, and Healing talents on Omniknight. The second strongest support in the current meta is Nature's Prophet based on how impactful and easy it is to play. Even though the hero doesn't really have a good win rate in higher brackets, this hero is very strong in the lower brackets, and it is much easier to play. The Ironwood Treant facet is insanely strong throughout the entire game from the laning stage to the late game. On level 1, get Nature's Call and use it to scout enemy heroes on the map. Treant duration is 50 seconds while the cooldown is only 45 seconds, which means you will always have one Treant available to play around. 2 sentries for blocking and unblocking camps and start with stats items so you can get more health and damage to trade in the lane. Nature's laning stage is pretty straightforward, you just need to keep two things in mind. 1. Just AFK your Treant on the hero you want to trade with in the lane and make sure you don't let your Treant die under the enemy's tower. Second, try to stay around trees while trading with the enemy heroes because Nature's Prophet innate gives him bonus damage if he is within 300 radius of trees and the damage increases per tree. Nature's Call is the most annoying thing to deal with in the laning stage. It has 800 health on level 1 and 350 movement speed. Enemy heroes cannot run away from it, nor can they trade with it because even if they trade with your Treant, you can easily zone them out. And this Treant is really hard to kill. The best part about this Treant is that it only gives 20 gold if it dies, which is highly unlikely unless you feed it under the enemy's tower. The laning stage is this simple. Other than that, you will be doing all the other support stuff like blocking hard camp, half pulling small camp, etc. If your lane is going easy, you can get Sprout on level 2. Otherwise, if you have taken damage from enemy heroes, simply take teleport on level 2, TP to base and teleport back to the lane. After your laning stage, you can start your own farm as well. If you are needed in some other lane, you can use global teleport and join the fight. Max your Sprout so you can farm lanes and jungle easily. Nature's Prophet ultimate now doesn't have a target limit anymore. It will hit every unit that is showing on the map when the ultimate is cast. And per bounce, the damage will increase up to 16 max hits, which is 415 damage on level 1 ultimate without the talent of the level 10. To maximize the potential of your ultimate, start playing around ancient camps and stack it every minute along with the hard camp. Place vision in your triangle so you can see both camps. Now every time you want to use your ultimate, you can start it from your stacks and it will help you deal max damage to every target your ultimate hits, which is very strong. Simple game plan. Stack neutrals, play mid or farm jungle, get aura items. Give impact in fights by using ultimate through stacks and teleporting to fights. Nature's Prophet has wide pool of item choices. If it is a good vessel game, then you can get a spirit vessel. Otherwise, the standard build these days is Solar Crest, Shard, which is pretty good in giving vision of enemy heroes in team fights. Scepter, as it allows you to root enemy heroes with ultimate globally. If you want to go all aura items, then you can get items like drums for mid game fights. Crimson Guard is also a very strong item right now if you're playing against physical damage lineup, or Pipe if you're playing against magical damage lineup. These are the talents that I like to go on the hero. You can pick them according to your liking. Treant does 150 bonus damage to buildings. So taking talents that make your Treant stronger helps you in taking towers easily. While pushing towers, you can also give Solar Crest to your Treant for additional attack speed. This is how fast Treant destroys tower in the late game with the 25 level talent. Shadow Demon is very fun to play and personally my favorite hero. The starting items on Shadow Demon are standard support items. 2 tangos, a blood grenade, circlet, 1 sentry, and either 3 branches or 2 branches and a fairy fire. Shadow Demon's Facet Disseminate buffs your second spell. If it is used on enemy, it instantly takes away a percentage of the enemy's health, and if it is used on your ally, it gives them health based on the percentage of their health. Not only that, the second spell itself is very strong. Whoever you use your second spell on, if that target takes damage, the enemy within 675 range of that target will also take a shared percentage damage. Either use it on your core, whoever is taking damage in the fight, or use it on the enemy core, whoever your team wants to burst. Shadow Demon's laning stage is very strong. His aura attacks apply a stacking 2% amplified damage debuff on enemy heroes for 8 seconds. Shadow Poison can also be stacked up to 5 charges and does extra damage per stack. Shadow Demon has some crazy damage, and on level 2 with Disruption and Shadow Poison you can set up kills in the lane. If you're not having mana problems in lane, you can use Disruption on enemy hero and harass them with their illusions while right clicking them yourself. Stacking neutral camps with Shadow Demon is really easy and is the best thing that you can do with this hero. You don't have to walk to triangle to do it. At 53 seconds, you can just use Shadow Poison once and stack the camp every minute. Don't forget to stack Hard Camp, as it will help you scale insanely in the early game. Since Shadow Demon has Disruption, SD can help his mid laner secure Power Rune or deny Power Rune for enemy's mid laner. Power runes are really important, especially when both mid laners have bottles. Help your mid laner for every power rune 6 minutes onwards. There are 2 things that you can do with stacks. If you have got a core that can farm your stacks as soon as possible, then give them the stacks and farm their lane. Otherwise, if your team is not listening or your team doesn't really have anyone who can clear the stacks quickly, farm the stacks yourself and get your level 6 as soon as possible. Apply 5 Shadow Poison stacks on neutrals and use your second spell on any neutral creep so that all neutrals take sheer damage as well, and you can farm stacks as soon as possible. If you're from a lower bracket, I would suggest you to farm the stacks yourself. Usually, our offlaner ends up dying when we go to stack neutrals, but with Shadow Demon you don't even have to leave the lane to stack. You can stack the neutrals from the river in 3 or 4 seconds and get back to the lane. Once you're level 6 this early, you can gank any lane with your ultimate and get a free kill. After the laning stage, always keep smokes with yourself. Often players find themselves clueless in mid to late game. The reason is they don't use smokes at all and they expect their cores to magically do something for them in the game. That's not how it works. In the mid game, figure out which hero has a power spike and play the map around him. In this game, it's Shaker with Blink Dagger. Every time you have your big ultimates available, look for a pickoff on the map. For that, you will need to smoke. There are 2 ways to use smoke. 1. Smoke with your team and run into the vision you have placed and fight under the vision. And second one is, keep a ward with yourself, smoke into the enemy's area, place vision there and fight in that vision. If you fight under your vision and make the move before the enemy, you will always have control over the team fight and map. These pickoffs allow you to take objectives like towers and Roshan. When the big ultimates are on cooldown, you can farm any free lane. Just like you have got to figure out which hero has a power spike in your team, you also need to think about what enemy heroes can do with their spells. In this game, the enemy has a Shaker mid with Echo Slam available. It's 8 minutes, so of course he doesn't have a Blink Dagger. The only move he can make is use Echo Slam and get a kill on mid lane. When you're actively thinking about your heroes as well as the enemy heroes, you're able to think about better moves to make on the map, and maybe those moves win you the games. While your core is busy farming ancient stacks that you did, you can farm lane. Shadow Demon farm lanes very easily with Shadow Poison stacks. In some games, enemy heroes will be strong in the early to mid game because of their draft, and your team will not have any moves to make because they will need more items to do anything. In such games, when your cores are not ready to make any moves on the map, don't force random fights and start farming in a lane where your core doesn't want to farm, and dodge the enemy heroes. You can dodge enemy heroes when they're sticking together and place ward in some other lane. You can abuse the fact that players in Dota don't have the discipline of going back together and resetting. They will show up one by one in your vision that you have placed in other lane. feed and give you a chance to come back into the game. So wait for the right opportunity rather than forcing random fights when you're playing from behind. Your positioning in team fights and ultimate target priority decides whether you will win the game or not. No matter what, never go front with Shadow Demon or any support hero that cannot tank damage. Support players often lose their cool when their cores are not starting the fight. They end up going front themselves and die as soon as the fight starts, having no impact at all. Now when you make these kind of moves, it doesn't matter how well you played throughout the game. You intentionally grief yourself. I can tell this because I do this a lot. Always maintain a position where enemy team cannot directly jump you, and always play around your team. When you're playing behind your team, you can read what's happening in a team fight and you're able to use your spells properly, which can win your team fights and maybe games. Every video takes a lot of effort and I want to keep helping you guys make Dota content. If you're learning something, please make sure to subscribe and like the video as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Your skill build should be 1 level into disruption for the laning stage. After that, max your Shadow Poison and second spell. Early to mid game items are Arcane Boots, Magic Wand and Solar Crest. Again, the buffs that Solar Crest provides are really strong and the itemization of Solar Crest is really easy, cheap and helpful for support players. That's why that item is really valuable. If you're playing against a high magical lineup, you can go Glimmer Cape. After that, you can decide if you're having positioning issues, you can get a Blink Dagger. Otherwise, Scepter is pretty solid buy. It gives you 2 charges of ultimate and also breaks the enemy's passive spells. Shadow Demon has some really good talents. These are the talents that I like to go on Shadow Demon. You can pick whatever you prefer because both sides of the talents are really good. Ringmaster has the highest win rate currently and is the most broken support hero of the current patch. Well, if you don't miss his spells. The damage of the first spell is very high for a level 1 spell, which you can spam in lane to zone out enemy heroes while securing range creep. The cooldown on the first spell is only 10 seconds, which allows Ringmaster to farm jungle and lanes actively. Escape Art is very strong saving spell that can be used to save allies or yourself. Impalement Arts has insane range and having 4 charges of it is just broken. The cooldown of the ultimate is pretty low in my opinion, and whenever you have ultimate available, you're always ready to fight. If you know how to use it, there is no way enemy can take a fight into your ultimate. All the innate spells that Ringmaster gets are so strong, which makes it really hard to lane against Ringmaster or even jump on him in fights. The starting items on Ringmaster are standard support items, 2 tangos, a blood grenade, circlet, 1 sentry and either 3 branches or 2 branches and a fairy fire. But if it is a good magic stick lane, you can skip the circlet and a branch to get the magic stick. A good magic stick lane is where both enemy heroes actively want to use their spell. Ringmaster has good attack damage, which is pretty decent to right click enemy heroes in the lane. In the early laning stage, use your first spell to secure range creep and if possible, damage enemy heroes with it. It is a very low mana and high damage spell that you can spam in lane to always keep enemies' health low to later on set up a kill on them when you're level 2. If you struggle with connecting your spells properly, I would advise you to take your time before using your spell. It's better to connect your spells than to rush and miss all your spells. Always keep a blood grenade with yourself in the lane. Start with a blood grenade. When enemy hero is slowed with blood grenade, then you can use your third spell to further slow them completely and channel your Q. This will help you get confidence and you will be able to connect your spells later in the game. When you're actively using your spells in the lane, you will have mana issues. Make sure to use courier to get mana resources so that you're always active in the lane. A good way to lane with Ringmaster is to play with your teammate in the lane. Don't focus too much on 1v1 trade with the enemy support. You can trade with enemy support for a while, but then you have to go back and connect with your core. Focus on zoning out the enemy core in the lane. When you will be playing behind your core in lane, it will be easier to use your spells and you will get all the time to land your spells and have more impact. You can have different variations in skill build. If you're playing fully aggressive in lane and the lane is easy for you, you can go for this build where you just max your Q and E in the lane, 1 level into escape art at level 8 to have a saving spell available during mid game. If the lane is hard and the enemy has heroes that can jump on you or your core, in that case you can get escape art on level 4. One of the most stupid mistakes that I was making in my games was I wasn't using my ultimate and first spell properly. I had the wrong idea that my first spell would fear enemies where they are facing, which made me miss a couple of ultimates. Ringmaster's first spell fears the enemy away from Ringmaster. It doesn't care about where the enemy is facing. They will just start running away in the opposite direction to Ringmaster. The easy way to use your ultimate is to throw your ulti in a straight line behind the enemy heroes and then use your Q on them so they can start running opposite to you, facing the Wheel of Wonder. Please do not walk into a fight and start right clicking the enemy heroes. Ringmaster has really low cooldown spells, which you can use in fights again and again if you are playing behind your team. The longer you live in a team fight, the more impactful you will be. This does not only apply to Ringmaster but almost every support hero. Ringmaster has a wide pool of item choices as well. In the laning stage, you will get a magic wand and arcane boots. After that, you will have the option of Glimmer Cape, Solar Crest, Roar of Atos, Greaves, basically aura items. Atos gives you a good health and mana pool, and it also helps you with your ultimate and first spell setup. The item build is completely up to you. If you're playing against a magical lineup, you can get a Glimmer Cape. The most popular item is Solar Crest because the health barrier and buffs it provides to your core are amazing, and the item build-up is really easy and strong as well. I go for all the left side talents. Escape Art, Cast Range helps you with positioning, and you can save your allies without showing yourself in teamfight. On level 15, debuff immunity depends upon game to game. If the enemy team has heroes that can stun, then left side talent is nice, otherwise Impalement Arts is the way to go. On level 20, I like to get damage challenged because it helps you with pushing out the lanes in the late game. Lastly, flying with Escape Art is pretty sick, it's more like Wind Waker. Treant Protector is one of the highest win rate heroes in the current patch. In the laning stage, Treant playstyle is similar to Omniknight. Always play in trees to get position advantage in the laning stage. Take 1v1 trades with enemy support or core whoever plays around trees. Before trading, have some idea whether this lane should be played defensively or aggressively. I have seen many Treant players feeling very strong on level 1 and they end up feeding first blood in the lane while fighting two heroes at once. Think about how enemy heroes can respond when you trade with them. With your sapling facet, lead seed can be used on the ground to heal allies and damage enemy heroes in that area. Keep it in mind that when you use lead seed on the ground, it doesn't slow enemy heroes. Use your high physical damage to deny creeps in the lane so that you can get level 2 before the enemy. Half pull the small camp or stack the small camp to full pull it later on. It will force the enemy into playing around the neutral camp area, which is a really bad positioning for enemy heroes to be in. Always keep one blood grenade with yourself for the laning stage. The slow from your spells and blood grenade can help you set up for kills. Keep mana regen items with yourself before you run out of mana in the laning stage. Treant versus Omni Snap is kind of hard lane for Treant because if Treant goes into right click, Omni and Snap can fight back easily due to their high damage spells. When you're playing against a strong lane, you can use your lead seed on the ground to push out the wave towards the enemy's side and focus on half-fulling small camp. When the lane is pushed to the enemy's side, they cannot come to contest small camp creeps. This way, you will deny their creep experience and get experience lead in the lane. If their position 4 comes to contest neutrals, you can fight him 2 versus 1 and most likely kill him. Remember, when the lane is hard, don't force random fights. You will only make the lane hard for yourself. Repeat this half pulling till you have got your levels. Use gates, outnumber the enemy team in their safe lane and either get kills on them or take tower if they leave the lane. Taking offlane tower is a very important objective as it opens up more area for your offlaner to farm and it limits enemies carry area to farm in the early game. After taking the tower, you can ward aggressively in the enemy's jungle and smoke with your team to hunt their carry whenever he is farming under your vision. Very important thing to keep in mind while taking team fights. Don't reveal your position, always stay hidden in trees and use your spells. There is no need to panic and come out to start right clicking the enemy heroes in team fights when your spells are on cooldown. If you're actively right clicking enemy heroes in team fights, they will just kill you first. Whenever your spells are on cooldown, stay hidden. Unless you're going for a pick off where you have number advantage on the enemy, in that case you can come out to right click. But when it's a 5 versus 5 fight, please make sure to stay hidden in trees and only give impact with your spells. In the mid game, figure out which hero has a power spike and play the map around him. In this game, it's Mars with Arena. Every time you have big ultimates available, look for a pick off on the map. For that, you will need a smoke. Again, there are two ways you can use smoke. Either smoke with your team and run into your vision that you have placed earlier and fight under your vision, or when you smoke, keep a ward with yourself. Smoke into the enemy's area, place vision there and fight under that vision. Just need to keep this thing in mind that you have to always take a fight under your vision and make the move before the enemy. You will always have the control over the fight and the map. Fighting under the vision is the most valuable thing that you can do in the mid game. Take your time and farm lanes to get your items when your big ultimates are on cooldown. There is no need to force random fights without your spells. When you're playing big ultimate cooldown heroes, you only fight when the ultimates are available, because when you're gonna fight when your ultimates are not available, you're only gonna put yourself in a risk of losing a fight. Always fight to your full potential, which is gonna be when all of your resources are available. Every time you have got your big spells available, smoke into the enemy, pick them off on map and convert that pick off into objectives. The objectives could be Roshan, towers or map control. Treant also loves to make aura items like Solar Crest, Drums, Greaves and Vlads, which also makes him a really impactful hero in the game. If you're looking to improve your game understanding in any role, I offer private coaching sessions that can help you improve your skills and become a better player. Limited slots have been opened for September. If you're interested, you can join my Discord linked in description. Please make sure to subscribe and like the video. Do let me know if you have any feedback in the comments. Otherwise, have a good day and good luck with your games.